I'm trying to figure out how Afro get in front of my mother race. I ain't never been to Afro color. I never been to Africa. Afro or Africa. Never been there. I'm not from Africa. I'm born and raised in Goose, Florida. I'm born in Goose, raised in Liberty City in the Poker Bean Project. Ain't never went to Africa. Ain't thinking about going there. And I heard it's a beautiful place. Yeah. And I know it's the motherland. Yes. But not my mother, not her mother, and not her mother's mother. That ain't their land. America, real true land is right here in the U.S. soils.
I'm not an African American. I'm an American. I was born on American soil.
Saying that we all come from Africa, that's the biggest damn lie. Indian, indigo, black, natives, we the real indigenous tribe. I'm the original man of America, due to the mitochondrial E. So that means every single last race in this world come from me. So if I created you, how the fuck you on my land first? Trying to claim my shit, man, I've been history. My people was done the worst. You not no native, please just be honest. You really a $5 Indian. Pay $5 to take my land. You know you a fraud. You not one of them. The government changed our name just so we don't get no reparations. Colored, black, Negro, African American is what they changed our name to. We is the Cherokee, we is the Iroquois, and the Apache. We is the Cheyenne, we the Caliphians, we the American Aboriginal Native man. Comment part 2. If y'all want me to go deeper, tired of people saying we African when we is the original people. That's why we do not know ourselves. We really think we started.
Many know about slavery, but few discuss paper genocide. We did not all come from Africa, and most of us have Aboriginal roots that were stripped away due to reclassification and miseducation. As a native Black American and a member of the Muskogee Creek Nation, I understand the importance of tracing your lineage. If you want to learn how to trace your genealogy and apply for tribal citizenship, send an email to mike@keymediapro.com to schedule a consultation.
I am not a slave, I was born to slide, I am not afraid. Hop about the K, oh yeah, free to God, they went out of state. I'm a child of God, I do not belong to the United States. Fuck Black History, tell Uncle Sam he can catch a fade. I went to hell, I mean school, graduated at the top of my class. Still never thought I was over my peers. We did that time together 12 years. Ain't that some movie? I think that it is. They won't control me, I'm really a member. I traveled that road, I came back with the jewels for 'em. When I pull up, they peep how the roof gone. We some dog killers, won't chew bones. Know we all spit on, we supreme. Somewhere I read a nigga had a dream.
You don't have to try to be something you're not. God, I can't stand this.
Trying to be something I'm not? Trying to be proud of my African heritage? If that's being something I'm not, then fine.
My grandmother was a full-blooded Iroquois. My grandfather was a black from a long line of journeymen who lived in Connecticut since the establishment of the colonies. My father was a Bajan who came to this country a cabin boy in a merchant marina.
I know all of that, Mama.
Then know this. I am alive because of the blood of a people who never scraped or begged or apologized for what they were. They asked only one thing of this world: to be allowed to be.
I gave you my grandmother's name, a woman who bore 9 children and educated them all. Who held off 6 white men with a shotgun when they tried to drag one of her sons off to jail for not knowing his place. And you had to reach into an African dictionary to find a name that would make you proud.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, let me get some fists and feathers in the chat if you can hear me loud, crisp, and clear, and we'll go ahead and get this party started. Oh boy, this is going to be an interesting broadcast, to say the least. When it comes to Dane Calloway, I came across his channel several years ago. I thought he was cool. I thought he was dope. I thought his mission, his content, I thought it was all on the up and up. You see, I give credit where credit's due. I can tell you specifically something that I learned from Dane Calloway. He was the first person that I've seen online show a map of the ocean's gyres. and he used the map of the ocean gyres to show that the trafficking of African slaves during the transatlantic slave trade is not how we thought it was. So thank you, Dane. I appreciate that. You taught me something new. But with that said, steel sharpens steel. How you start is not always how you finish. Matter of fact, they have a saying, die a hero or live long enough to see yourself become the villain. And if I'm just calling a spade, it seems that although Dane Calloway started out with benevolent intention, although he was one of the first people out here online talking about Black people being indigenous, as of late, he seems to kind of, sort of, basically gone the pseudo route. Now, guys, words matter, and I'm never going to levy accusations against anybody without actually showing you videographic and photographic evidence to support my claims. But just so we're on the same page, when I theorize that Dane Calloway has gone pseudo as of late, let's go ahead and pull up the definition of pseudo. Pseudo means something that is false, fake, or not genuine. It can also mean something that is a simulation, an imitation, or spurious. For example, you might describe something as pseudoscience or pseudo-pregnancy. Some other definitions of pseudo are counterfeit or spurious, closely or deceptively similar to something else, not corresponding to reality or illusionary, almost approaching or trying to be. The word pseudo comes from the Greek word pseudin, which means to lie or to break an oath. And guys, when I read this literary definition of the word pseudo, the parts that I'm really holding on to is not corresponding to reality or illusionary. False, fake, not genuine. And as the Greek root states it, to lie or to break an oath. Now, for me to say I feel like Dane has kind of lied or broken an oath, well, Mike, what do you mean he broke an oath? An oath, huh? I would say he broke an unspoken oath. And we have an unspoken oath within the Native Black community to always, above else, it don't matter what it is, but at bare minimum, you always got to keep it real. And when I see Dane Calloway make videos talking about Harriet Tubman isn't real and she's a figment of the imagination, when I see Dane Calloway make videos talking about Nat Turner is a fictional character, he's not real. When I see things like this, I say to myself, this nigga done gone pseudo. Now, I'll be the first one to admit, although my opinion of him is one of which he's become so pseudo, we might as well not call him an American Indian. He might as well be Sudanese. I mean, but let me stop being petty. Although my opinion, my humble opinion, is that he's gone full tilt pseudo, I've got to actually show you guys what I'm talking about, and I'll be the first one to let you know. It turned me off like a motherfucker hearing him making claims about Harriet Tubman and Nat Turner never existing. But you know what? I use the Bruce Lee philosophy. Take what's useful, discard what's not. So I never even watched those videos of his. I never even tuned into that bullshit. I never even entertained the notion. But for me to now say that I think he's pseudo for publishing content like that, and for me to not have even watched that content of his he published, well, that would be in poor taste. That would be improper for me to promote Dane Calloway has gone pseudo, and I ain't even watched the video. So guess what we gonna do on the stream? We gonna watch the video. He published some video saying Nat Turner is a fictional character created by the Virginia Department of Historic Resources and Thomas Gray in 1831. The thumbnail has an image of Frederick Douglass, for what reason I don't know, and it says they created him just to take your land. Well, guys, this live stream right here is meant to critique Dane Calloway. It's not meant to defame him or slander him or expose him. This is just meant to critique. Critique is a detailed analysis, an assessment of something. So follow along with this critique. And before we even watch the video, let's take a look at some of the comments in the comment section to see some of the critiques his own audience has left him. Someone says, this actually happened, and there are many historical writings from writers at that time that do exist. All right, so someone who doesn't agree with Dane Calloway's notion that Nat Turner never existed. The next person says, if you Google for Nat Turner the preacher, it's an older photo of a black man. It is a different photo and not Frederick Douglass. I'm Canadian, and I found this info for free. Okay, guys, we haven't watched the video yet, but apparently there's going to be some kind of suspicion with photos, and this commenter is saying that they've proven Dane Calloway wrong, and they're not even American, they're Canadian, and they just found the info for free 99. Okay, let's keep going. And again, we're taking these with a grain of salt until we actually watch the video in a moment. But another critique, someone says, near the beginning of the video, you said Nat Turner was an Aborigine, but at a certain point in the video, you say he doesn't exist. Could you please explain in case I missed something? Okay, so apparently in the beginning of this video, he's going to claim that Nat Turner is Aboriginal, that he's American Indian. But again, the whole point of the video is that he never existed and they created him to take our land. Guys, I don't know how that makes any fucking sense just straight off the rip. I don't know how white folks inventing a slave rebellion helps take our land. I don't know what part of the game that is. I ain't never heard no shit like that. They forced my ancestors from Alabama through the Trail of Tears, and they didn't have to fake a story of some successful slave rebellion in order to force us to Oklahoma. I mean, I just don't get that. What is he talking about? What is he talking about? We gonna see. Next critique. Well, then explain, how does he have family members that live to this day? Guys, we're gonna get to that. Not only is Nat Turner supposed to be a descendant of Nottoway Indians, but Nat Turner apparently has living descendants. So how is Dane Calloway running around saying Nat Turner never existed if his descendants are alive to this day? All right. And the reason why I'm so passionate about this is because we treated Dane Calloway as an authoritative figure. He was one of the biggest, most popular people online pushing this Aboriginal shit. And we love that. We needed that. He played an important role. But as of late, I don't know. Damn, homie. In high school, you was the man, homie. I forget what song that's from, but that lyric rings true here because I'm like, damn, back in the day, you could do no wrong. You were shooting 100. Your batting average was on point, but now Harriet Tubman don't exist. Nat Turner doesn't exist. Why? Because you said so. Let's take a look at some more comments. Someone says, where is his documentation? Or are we supposed to believe this just because he says this or believes it? All right, we're going to see if Dane shows any documentation in the video. Someone else says, no sources, bro. Just you eloquently saying stuff. You got to give me sources, although you make good points. Okay. All right. Let's see. Why the picture of Douglas discussing Nat? Yeah, I'm also confused as to why he has a picture of Frederick Douglass, and this whole video that we're about to watch is him debunking the existence of Nat Turner. Relevancy, Your Honor. Relevancy. Someone else says they killed and ate Nat, okay? Don't let this dude flood your mind with conspiracy. Y'all stupid as hell for watching this and believing this. Hey. But let Dane tell it they just came up with the story of butchering him and barbecuing him and turning him into a sofa because somehow that helped them steal our land. Nigga, we were already on the plantation. They already stole our land. What the fuck are you talking about? What the fuck are you talking about? Come on. And shout out to some of my live viewers. Red says it don't even be eloquent. It just be long-winded as fuck. We gonna get to it, y'all. We gonna get to it. Again, I'm gonna give him a fair shake. I'm literally gonna just play the video for you guys. We're gonna do a live reaction and we're gonna have a little tribunal and determine is he pseudo or not. Another comment says, I agree with the fact. Oh wait, oops. They said, I agree with the fact that a number of black people being indigenous to America, but I think Nat Turner was real. Exactly. Dane Calloway says, black folks are Aboriginal, have Aboriginal heritage. Yeah, I agree with you. I don't have any disagreements there. Nat Turner never existed. Yeah, hold on. Can you show us some proof of that? Can we see some proof? And guys, I'm going to get so litigious with the shit today. I'm going to get so litigious with it that let me actually break out a notepad. Let me actually break out a handy dandy notepad, okay? Let's go ahead and get this done. What are we looking to find in this video? Let's see if he actually supports his very charged claims. What is his first claim here? They created him. So the first thing that we're going to put here, and we're going to see if he actually answers for this claim or not. Nat Turner never existed. They created him. All right, that's his first claim. Let's see if he gives any evidence to support that. We've also got a picture of Frederick Douglass here. So let's see if he answers the Frederick Douglass connection. Let's see why there's a photo of Frederick Douglass up here when this video is supposed to be debunking the existence of Nat Turner. What else did he say in the title? What else? Hold on, guys. Here's the title. Nat Turner is a fictional character created by the Virginia Department of Historic Resources. Okay, hold up. So not only is it that Nat Turner existed, they created him, but the they is supposed to be the Virginia Department of Historic Resources. Created Nat Turner. All right, guys, this is getting deep. We ain't even watched the video yet. And who else created Nat Turner? Who else colluded to create Nat Turner? Thomas Gray in 1831. Okay, so let's see if we also get any involvement from Thomas Gray in 1831. Come on, Dan. I'm hoping you give us some answers for these categories. I'm hoping we get the answers that we seek. Is there anything else that he's claiming? Nat Turner is a fictional character created by the Virginia Department of Historic Resources and Thomas Gray in 1831. They created him just to take your land, and he put a picture of a Frederick Douglass, even though the video is about Nat Turner. All right, guys. I think we've prefaced this successfully. Let's see how far down the rabbit hole we're going to go.
Watch all of my exclusive content. Now,
yeah, we ain't going to shout out the many pseudo books and lectures and stuff. No. I say many pseudo books and lectures, but I actually did buy one recently that was decent. He came out with a documentary for like $5 called Rosa. The Rosa documentary was pretty decent, but still towards the end, he just went full pseudo. He started talking about some shit about Rosa Parks wasn't even black or some shit. Rosa Parks was a white woman or something. I was like, come on, bro. Come on. But let's see where he starts this video. Let's skim past the commercials.
Tom Shattery traces the slave rebellion and the movement to preserve this piece of hidden history. Retraces the slave rebellion and the movement to preserve this piece of hidden history. This piece of hidden history.
Okay, so we already have dramatic effect. Dramatic effect me, please. How can you retrace a slave rebellion if you weren't there? I think you can retrace it by documentation, artifacts, eyewitness accounts, any literature that spoke about it, any living descendants of people that were. I mean, I think there's ways to trace that. All right. How is Nat Turner's rebellion hidden history if you're able to retrace it? I think it was hidden history because the average person doesn't know about Nat Turner. I mean, the average little kid going through school, I mean, they're taught about the Pilgrim and Indians and the pseudo shit around Thanksgiving before they're ever taught about Nat Turner. But all right, I just had to counter his dramatic effect. And Randall, don't have me busting up already. We ain't even got into the video. Yeah, you talking about Dan look like the Predator. Stop being petty. We are critiquing the man. We are not defaming the man.
That's right, Laura and Steph. This is a story. About.
God damn, we can't even get into the video without him slow mowing and dramatic effect and shit. He says, "Oh, so this is a story." Because if it was actually true, then you would state this is the truth instead. No, I think we still refer to historical things as stories. I think that would be weird if someone opened it up like, we're going to talk about Nat Turner's hidden history. This is the truth. No, like this is the story. This is what happened. All right, guys, maybe I'm looking into this too much, but why the dramatic effects?
One of humanity's basic yearnings, a passion to be free. That's why historians want to save what's left. That's why historians want to save what's left from this deadly uprising in Southampton County.
So, tell me, here we are. I'm a slave master. You're my slaves. I spent 100 years beating up on you, your grandmama, your great-grandmama, making you work for nothing for me. Centuries after centuries. And then one day independence must come. I said, okay, fine, let's have independence. Let's sit down and talk about it. Here's how your independence gonna go, okay?
Okay, I'm sorry. This has absolutely nothing to do with your claim that Nat Turner never existed. I can't. I can't allow him to waste our fucking time like this. Hold up. We 2 minutes in and we ain't really heard nothing to support the claim that Nat Turner did. Hold on, y'all. I gotta skim a little bit.
Let me tell you, independence is signed, family remains my land. You know what I'm gonna say? Begging.
Is the inventable development.
Okay. Maybe now we're gonna actually get to some meat and potatoes. He pulls up some text on the screen here in red. What does he highlight in red? Because you stole my land. Okay, so before we even get to his evidence of Nat Turner not being real, we got to sit through a random speech of a woman talking about how they stole our land. Okay, did they steal our land? Yes, but how is this relevant to your claim that Turner never existed?
I'm begging because you stole my land.
One of the most vitally important issues of our age, and that is United Nations Agenda 21, Sustainable Development. It is the inventory and control plan. Inventory and control of all land, all water, all minerals.
So what does a United States plan of controlling minerals and water and land have to do with you claiming Nat Turner never fucking existed? Oh my God, I'm too intellectual to watch this ignorant ass shit. He's gonna kill my high. I need to smoke another J. Oh my God, guys, are y'all watching the same shit I'm watching? We 4 minutes in and I'm just gonna hold my tongue. I'm just gonna hold my tongue and let it play out.
Minerals, all plants, all animals, all construction, all means of production, all food, all energy,
relevancy,
all information,
relevancy,
and all
Your
human
Honor,
beings in the
relevancy.
world. And
Relevancy.
this is a plan that was agreed to by 179 nations back in 1992.
No. Hey, JBX Media, I listen to you. I understand, bro. I gotta listen. But I hope that at the end of this, we see how he's tying a United Nations agenda to Nat Turner not being real.
It's a United Nations plan. It's called the Agenda for the 21st Century. And so many of us around the world think that
this broad most likely ain't even gonna mention Nat Turner. She ain't even gonna say Nat Turner's name not once, but somehow this has to do with Nat Turner not being real. All right, guys, I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna spark up a joint. I'm gonna relax. I just can't.
Well, sustainable development, it just sounds so great. Isn't it about recycling and creative reuse and creating energy and food resources for everyone? And the answer is no, it really is not. It's about moving populations into city centers, concentrated city centers, and clearing them out of the rural areas. I found out about it in a very unusual way, actually, because...
Okay, guys, clearly she's just going to talk about this UN agenda. I don't think she's going to tie this into Nat Turner at all. So let's just skip around a little bit and see when this actually becomes about Nat Turner.
I spent my career as a legal witness domain.
Eminent domain.
And what I found about 10 years ago around, or difficult to say what it was worth, because you couldn't know what people could do with it, because they were being restricted from using their property.
Okay, United Nations restricted people from using their property. Okay, got it. How does this relate to Nat Turner? And we're going to again skip through the dramatic effect intro. We're damn near 7 minutes in and we still can't get nothing about Nat Turner. Okay, wait a minute.
Nat Turner was indiscriminate in a brutal way of trying to spread fear throughout the county.
Nat Turner saw it as something wrong. He decided to do something about it. It was horrific. It created a lot of pain for both sides, and he paid the price for it. Nat Turner's my great, 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 third great grandfather.
Okay, so right off the bat, Dane is showing a lineal descendant of Nat Turner, but Dane simultaneously wants us to believe that Nat Turner was created to take our land and that Nat Turner is a fictional character. Dane, can you give us some fucking context? Who is this man that you're playing in the video claiming to be a descendant of Nat Turner? Do you want to like do a voice overlay and give us some context? Or are you trying to tell us you think that black man's lying and he's not a descendant of Nat Turner because Nat Turner is a fictional character? I mean, what are you talking about? Thank God.
I am documenting this on August 6, 2017. I am still making my way throughout the historic landmasses of the Virginia colony of London, also known as the Charter of the Virginia Company of London,
also known as the state of Virginia. I got it. Can we get to it?
But the majority of people watching knows this land as Virginia, the Commonwealth state. And make no mistake, I am not in London. I am still in North America at the
Okay, guys, I just can't. This is like a 30-minute video, so let's get to some meat and potatoes.
this time. Essential when the information that I'm about to share with us, revealing the factual truth about this one leading individual having been a contemporary of the indigenous Aborigines. So join me.
Okay, so ding 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 ding. We've already found one of the critiques made against him. Somebody in his comment section said, near the beginning, you said Nat Turner was Aborigine, but at a point in the video, you say he doesn't exist. Did we miss something? So again, right here in the beginning, he's opening up. I'm going to rewind it a little bit for context. He's opening up saying that Nat Turner is an Aboriginal man, but this whole video is about him being a fictional character created by the government. All right.
Our history and its relevancy of details, revealing the factual truth about this one leading individual having been a contemporary of the indigenous Aborigines. So join me on this journey.
I don't know how you're a contemporary of indigenous Aborigines and you're a fictional character at the same time. I don't know how that works.
And bear witness to what you're about to see. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, right now, I'm in Southampton, Virginia, Southampton. I'm like about 5 or 6 miles from Jerusalem, which is now called Portland. And I wanted to grab this real quick. I hope you guys can see me. I wanted to grab this sign real quick because I'm almost there. And they have this on the street. I mean, literally, this is called Jerusalem Parkway. This is the Southampton County sign. I want to point something out to you so you can get an idea where I'm coming from on this. If you can't see this, I'm definitely going to be putting a picture.
You're in Southampton County. We got it. Where's the evidence that guys, if I'm going to make a charged ass claim that Nat Turner is a historical character, he's a fictional being, I'm going to give you the evidence within the first fucking minute of the video. We 10 minutes in and we still can't get no evidence.
Picture up. But that says Department of Historic Resources 2003. I also want to point out that it says
we're gonna have to start skipping a little bit. Come on.
Since everybody got, and you're hearing the cars go past me, since everybody got interested in the Nat Turner story, they started removing certain artifacts and certain things that you could catch up on.
Okay, so his first claim here is that since people started learning more about Nat Turner's story, they started removing historical artifacts. He's not showing an article that says that. He's not showing a newspaper clipping. He's not showing any evidence at all that because of the increase in popularity of Nat Turner's story, they've started shifting around artifacts.
So you won't know that Nat Turner was in fact an indigenous Aborigine.
Okay, so they shifted around. Guys, peep this. I still ain't even sparked up my joint. This nigga getting me so heated. What the fuck is he talking about right now? The title of this video is Nat Turner is a fictional character, but now he's saying that because of the increase in popularity of Nat Turner's story, they're hiding artifacts because they're hiding the fact that he was an indigenous man. Is he indigenous man or is he a fictional man? You can't be both.
Indigenous Aborigine right here in Turtle Island, aka North America. But I just want to point out the fact that it says, of course you can see the Nat Turner name. This says the county seat is Cortland, which I'm heading right to, formerly called Jerusalem. That's very important.
Soon after transitioning into power as the King of England in 1589, the Catholic Scottish ruler, King James IV of Scotland, became King James I of England. James was solely responsible for dubbing the land occupied by the Nottoway Indians as Jerusalem, Virginia, in the early 1600s, once he ordered white settlers to colonize land in the, quote, New World, not obstructing lands in Florida and the Caribbean due to the Spaniards overseeing those Indian territories already, preventing any contravention of said treaties. The King James Version Bible is named after him due to James commissioning it and later authorizing the publication of it in 1611. I'll go into full detail about this in a later documentary, but its relevancy is essential to note due to its timely establishment surrounding this topic.
I am here, ladies and gentlemen. This is what I wanted to show you guys. I'm inside of the town of Cortland. Okay, town of Cortland, which is a part of Southampton, Virginia. And yes, this is the Nat Turner's insurrection historic marker. I'm going to read this off to you. Before I do that, let me make note. You know how I do this. Note that this says Department of Historic Resources, 1991. Okay.
And what we're hoping here, what's on this list, is for you to prove how the Virginia Department of Historic Resources created Nat Turner. So while we see he's been driving around, he's been traveling, he's reading some plaques, can we get to some receipts, Playboy?
I'll be going into this, so I'm going to read this off quickly. If you can't hear me quite well, it's because I'm literally right here. You can see the cotton field that it's directly beside. Notice that. This is a cotton field that is directly beside, and across the street is also a cotton field, which is quite, the spot that they chose to put this historic marker in.
So you're critiquing that the historic marker is next to a cotton field. Okay, cool, we got it. Can you give us some evidence that Nat Turner's a figment of the imagination? Because so far you're trying to convince us he's an Aborigine. And I've also seen evidence that he was a Nottoway Indian, but how are you in one breath saying he's a Nottoway Indian and then the next saying he never existed?
Heading right to formerly called Jerusalem. That's very important.
Soon after transitioning into power as the King of England in 1589, the Catholic Scottish ruler, King James IV of Scotland, became King James I of England. James was solely responsible for dubbing the land occupied by the Nazis.
So now we're talking about King James. What does that have to do with you claiming that the Virginia Department of Historic Resources created Nat Turner? And let's call a spade, guys. We're going to skip ahead a little bit. Spoiler alert, if you will. Dramatic effect me, please. This nigga is so pseudo, he can't keep up with his own pseudo babble, y'all. He can't keep up with his own pseudo. Mike, what are you talking about? Why are you claiming that Dane Calloway can't keep up with his own pseudo jargon that he promotes? Well, guys, you know me as the king of receipts, so bear with me, please. Let me filibuster for just a moment. I got a receipt here somewhere. I wasn't even supposed to go into this now. This is really for the next live stream. Right after this, we're doing a back-to-back on Dane's dumbass. But in the next live stream, we're going to react to a different video where he's claiming that King James was a black man. So we got him 11 hours ago, earlier today, 11 hours ago, making videos alleging that King James is a black man. But 3 years ago, or whenever this video was taken, he's calling King James a Spaniard. Okay, You can't keep track of the pseudo, can you, player?
Scottish ruler, King James IV of Scotland.
He just called him a Spanish-Scottish ruler a few years ago, but 11 hours ago, he trying to make pseudo clickbait videos talking about King James was a black man, guys. Which one is it?
King of England in 1589, the Catholic Scottish ruler, King James IV of Scotland, became King James.
Damn, a few years ago, he showed that photo as a representation of King James, but earlier today, he's showing this photo. It's guys, do you see the grift? Do you see the pseudo? I guess he just ran out of indigenous history to talk about, so he just started grifting this pseudo shit. I mean, talk about going off the deep end. Lord, oh Lord.
First of England. James was solely responsible for dubbing the land occupied by the Nottoway Indians as Jerusalem, Virginia, in the early 1600s, once he ordered white settlers to colonize land in the, quote, New World, not obstructing lands in Florida.
And we appreciate that tidbit on history, Dane. We really do. We appreciate you letting us know how the Scottish, Spanish King James was responsible for the slaying of the Nottoway Indians, but we're trying to figure out why you're claiming the Virginia Department of Historic Resources created Nat Turner, why you're claiming Thomas Gray was involved in this in 1831, and why you got a photo of Frederick Douglass up here for this video. Can we get to those things? All the other shit you're talking about is cool, but this ain't the video for it.
And the Caribbean, due to the Spaniards overseeing those Indian territories already, preventing any contravention of set treaties. The King James Version Bible is named after him due to James commissioning it and later authorizing the publication of it in 1611. I'll go into full detail about this in a later documentary, but its relevancy is essential to note due to its timely establishment surrounding this topic. I am here, ladies and gentlemen. This is what I wanted to show you guys. I'm inside of the town of Cortland. Okay, town of Cortland, which is a part of Southampton, Virginia. And yes, this is the Nat Turner's insurrection historic marker. I'm going to read this off to you. Before I do that, let me make note. You know how...
Dane, here's my issue with you, Dane Calloway. Why couldn't you have just titled this video, Taking a Tour of Virginia and getting into the history of Virginia and the Nottoway Indians? If that was the title of this video, if that is what the thumbnail represented, we would have no issue with this information. King James wrote the Bible, he did this, he did that, this was a territory of London, blah, blah, blah. We get it, but that's not what this video is about. This video alleges that Nat Turner is a fictional character created by the Virginia Department of Historic Resources, and we damn near 15 minutes in and you ain't shown a shred of evidence.
This note that this says Department of Historic Resources 1991. Okay, so we're going to be going into this, so I'm going to read this off quickly. If you can't hear me quite well, it's because I'm literally right here. You can see the cotton field that it's directly beside. Notice that this is a cotton field that is direct.
We understand you're by a cotton field on the side of a highway. We get it. Where are the receipts? I'm just going to skim through this whole video real quick and see if he shows any documents. So he's going to read this plaque for the next 5 minutes. We're still on this plaque for some fucking reason. He's just circle jerking this plaque. Now he's going to go to a house. Now he's going to do some talking. He's going to do some talking. It looks like we got some documents and some more talking. So it seems like if he is going to show any evidence to support his claims, it's going to be maybe right around here where he starts talking about this house. Yeah. Right around here, guys.
In response to the revolt, the General Assembly passed harsher slave laws and censored abolitionists. Abolitionists like, for example, Frederick Douglass, for example. I'm going to use him as an example. He was also an abolitionist. Usually, the abolitionists are now known as your modified versions of politicians, which is, the Democrats or the Republicans. And I'm out here to uncover all of the history that wasn't told. Okay, and there's a reason why they're separating so much stuff about the Nat Turner story, because of course they don't want you to know most of the stuff that I do know, and some people do know of.
And are you actually going to tell us what the fuck you know? So far, you're breathing out of breath, gasping for air on the side of a road by a cotton field, reading a sign for an hour.
Just going to try to capture it as much as I can. I'm probably going to be doing some more recording in full Christiana. I hope I could throw all of this in one video because everything is about an hour.
Bro, yeah. Let's get to next scene. Change scene, please.
Yeah, that house was removed from its initial location.
We heard you the first time. So because this house was removed from the original location, does that mean Nat Turner never existed and he's a fictional character created by the Virginia Department of Historic Resources and Thomas Gray in 1831? Don't even remind me about the fact he tried to be a rapper and failed miserably. I don't even want to go into his be more.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, now I definitely wanted to get inside of this topic briefly with you guys because there's a lot of information I don't want to cover that I didn't get a chance to mention in my last vlog. And in my last vlog, I did promise you that I'm definitely going to be going into further depth with this information concerning the Nat Turner topic of the reason why his historic sites and artifacts are being removed. Or dismantled, rather. Unfortunately, I discovered a lot of stuff that people probably not going to like. Okay?
Can you show us anything you discovered, please?
But first, before I jump into that, let me definitely shout out the...
Nah, nigga. We ain't doing shout outs. Show us what the fuck you want to show us. We 20 minutes in, nigga. Show us. Throwing mud on Nat Turner's name. Throwing salt in the game. Talk about Nat Turner never fucking existed. What are you talking about?
In 2 days. Now we talking about the 1830s here, okay? You know, of Nat Turner. Those dates are not adding up. Those dates are not adding up. How is it that you killed all of these people, okay? All these white people, men, women, and children, within a 24-hour span. Then 2 days later, you get halted by the militant men. Everything that they just stopped, they quelled the revolt in 2 days. Now we talk.
So are you theorizing that the revolt lasted longer than they claim? Or are you saying Nat Turner is a fictional character created by the Virginia Department of Historic Resources and Thomas Gray in 1831, and they created him just to take our land? Which one is it?
1830s here, okay? Mid-1800s. There was no internet. There was no cell phone. How did they get that word that quick? Not only that, they captured him right then and there, or locked him up rather. Captured him. That's the terminology that they used. And he was...
What do you mean that's the terminology, nigga? There's only one word for capturing someone.
Sitting in jail all the way until November 11th on his trial date. So, what white man you know was going to let a quote-unquote black man sit in jail after killing 50 to 70 white people?
So he's not going to give us any evidence to support his claim that Nat Turner is a fictional character created by the government to take our land. He's just up here babbling about, hey, so they say that they stopped the rebellion in 2 days and put him in jail till November, but I think the white people would have really killed him and not really put him in jail so long. What are you babbling about?
Sit in jail during that time period? Because to go back, let me go back a little bit, because to catch him, how? I'm down here. This is a lot of land to cover. These houses are not next door to each other. That's a lot of land. How did you catch him? The houses were not side by side. That's impossible to do that within what, 24?
Don't you know niggas run fast? How'd you catch him? What did y'all do to catch him? And y'all really let him be in jail for that long and didn't lynch him immediately? What is he talking about, guys? Do you see why I was so upset in the beginning of the shit? Do you see how we've looked at him like an authoritative figure? He was one of the first people on the scene on YouTube preaching this Aboriginal shit. And as of late, he's full pseudo. He's bad representation. He's out with the old, in with the new. We can't have niggas like this running amok, being the face of Native Black American history online. No. Take a seat. Go chill with the Moorish sovereign citizens. Go chill with the Scientologists. Go chill with the polygamous Amun-Ra, Imhotep, overstand, understanding motherfuckers. Go chill with the Hebrew Israelites. We talk facts over here.
Order 48 hours. That's impossible. How do you know where he was? But yet he was caught, tried, and hanged 3 months later. That just don't sound right. That doesn't add up. Number 3.
So Dane Calloway's evidence for Nat Turner not existing is that don't sound right. That don't add up.
Where are his pictures? Where are the authentic pictures of Nat Turner? Okay, I mean, I went to the Library of Congress. I went to multiple libraries.
And we just have to take his word for that. He's not sure. He showed that long video of him huffing and puffing by the cotton field. We ain't got no video of him going to these libraries of Congress. We ain't got no videos of him going to libraries looking for pictures of Nat Turner. They saying, no, we don't have those. Those don't exist. None of that. We just supposed to take this nigga word for it.
And I tried my very best to find an authentic picture of Nat Turner and the National Archives. And they usually on top of everything. Okay? Even if the government didn't like it. See? Now, when you go to Google and type in pictures of Nat Turner, they showing you pictures of a young Frederick Douglass. Hello?
Okay. He's finally made a claim that we can at least try to look into. At least try to, guys. At least try. Damn, everything else he's saying was just pure conjecture, hyperbole, pseudo babble. But let's see what he's talking about. He said if you Google Nat Turner, they're just going to show us young photos of Frederick Douglass. Let's see. This is the first thing that comes up for Nat Turner, which is clearly like a painting. We got another thing that's a painting. If we click images, what do we see? We see more paintings. We see paintings. We see paintings. We see paintings. We see paintings. And here we see one photo of Frederick Douglass. Where's this photo of Frederick Douglass? Is this someone claiming that this is Nat Turner, but really it's a photo of Frederick Douglass? Where's this coming from? This is coming from some Facebook page. Hold on, guys. Let me share my screen real proper. Let me share my screen. And let me go back. Y'all know me as the king of receipts. It ain't no tomfoolery around here. We just went straight from the search results. The one photo of Frederick Douglass we see, we click visit. This is going to take us to a Facebook page posted by a U.S. embassy talking about Nat Turner, born into slavery on October 2nd, 1800, who claimed to have been chosen. Okay, so let's first do some further fact checking. Is this an official U.S. embassy? Okay, this is apparently, it seems to be legitimate, a U.S. embassy in Eritrea. Guys, I ain't even going to front. Where the fuck is Eritrea? Is that Africa? That's in East Africa. Okay. So Dane Calloway is correct in the sense that a random Facebook page for a U.S. embassy in East Africa did mistakenly put up a photo of Frederick Douglass, and it's supposed to be Nat Turner, and people immediately in the comment section checked him and was like, hey, this is Frederick Douglass. Is there anybody else claiming that Frederick Douglass photos are really Nat Turner? Let me see. More paintings of Nat Turner, more paintings of Nat Turner, more paintings of Nat Turner, a skull of Nat Turner, the movie. No. So you see how when I give you proper context, we see Dane was correct to a degree. One Facebook page messed up and had a photo of Frederick Douglass, but that really don't support what Dane's talking about right now, does it?
Does add up to you? Dred Scott, okay, the one where he went to court to try to fight for his rights as a quote-unquote black man, and the judge was like, y'all don't have no rights? They go sit up there and say Nat Turner had a lawyer. I'm going to get into that in a second, but mind you.
So he also doesn't believe Nat Turner had a lawyer? Okay.
Dred Scott is from the exact same area Nat Turner is allegedly from.
Okay, guys, we're going to have to start skipping ahead a little bit again because we're trying to see if he shows any evidence that Nat Turner never existed.
Southampton County, you Department of Historic Resources in Virginia, you can sit there and tell me when the first African slaves was imported here in the United States, okay? And then you could tell me when the first African slaves made it and created the first African American baby in America? You could document that, but you can't give me a picture of Nat Turner.
Okay, so because he can't find a photo of Nat Turner didn't exist. Guys, I just saved you so much time. So much wasted fucking time listening to Dane Calloway when this is what it amounts to. A nigga just talking in front of it. Guys, I can't even do that. I can't just sit up in my car on the phone and just talk to myself into the camera phone for an hour like that. I just can't. I gotta show y'all some videos, some evidence, some receipts, some historical sources, something.
You can't give me, hold on now, you can't give me his mother's first and last name, his father's first and last name, date of birth.
So because he can't get his father's first and last name, his mother's first and last name, and their date of birth, that means that means Nat Turner never existed.
Place of birth, see there? Where is this information? And so now they done created a movie saying, oh, Nat Turner had a son and he had a wife. Now all of a sudden they got proof, but what about his lawyer's documents from 1831? What about those? His alleged lawyer was a racist, bigoted white immigrant named Thomas Gray.
All right, guys, I just can't. The verdict is in. Okay, now I'm gonna stop being petty. The verdict is not in. You guys are the court of public opinion. I presented his very charged claims, and again, if there's anybody tuning in late, here's his claims again. Here's his claims. Or excuse me, that was my show list today. I got to keep my show in order. Where's his claims at? Where's his claims? Here we go. This is his claims. He said Nat Turner never existed. They created him. More specifically, that the Virginia Department of Historic Resources created Nat Turner. More specifically, that Thomas Gray also had involvement in 1831. And he's claiming all the photos online of Nat Turner are Frederick Douglass when they're not. We already disproved that. Yeah. And if we do more fact checking, let's do a little more fact checking. You know, it is important, after all, to fact check niggas online. When did Nat Turner, this nigga's got me thinking about Frederick Douglass now. When did Nat Turner die? Nat Turner died in 1831. When did photography first come to America? 1839. Photography did not come to what we know as the United States of America until 8 years after the death of Nat Turner. But Dane Calloway's whole premise for doubting that Nat Turner existed was because we can't find photos. But photos weren't created at that time. Dane, you got some splaining to do. Oh Lord, you got some splaining to do. Come on. And shout out to Nightbreaker. Night says, Mike, I want to play devil's advocate, and I hope you're not offended. We got Tariq, Umar, and now Dane. The next person you expose should be a white guy, maybe. I don't expose people based on race. That's racist. I expose people that hold influence within my community, are grifting my community, are defrauding members of my community, or are vying for influence over my community. I've roasted white people before that had something to do with my community. The most recent one that came to mind was just Pearly Things. Go look at my archive. I did damn near 100 videos exposing Hannah Pearl Davis and her whole racist fucking family. Why? Because she grifted our way into a black online dating guru spirit space, and our paths cross. But if you guys can point to me a white guy that's talking Aboriginal history and mixing it with pseudoscience, then I'll be the first one to expose his ass. Matter of fact, I can think of one. I can think of a white guy that I recently exposed that's talking some pseudo shit. I'm the king of receipts after all. Let me pull up a receipt. Go check out my archive. I did a couple of videos. I don't even know how to spell this motherfucker's name. I did a couple of videos exposing another charlatan here. Let me see if I can find you for him. And this man is a white Latino conquistador. So I ain't got no issue going after the white folks, okay? No issue at all. Let me see where old boy was. I forget what the name of his channel even is. Karumio. Here he is. Karumio Ayo. I did a whole hit piece. I pulled up on him on his live stream and everything. Exposed him in 4K. Exposed his ass in 4 fucking K. As a matter of fact, this isn't here's a video right here. Expose the shit out of old boy. So again, I got no issue going after people who have a lack of melanin. It's just you gotta be vying for influence within my community and warrant it. That's all. And guys, before we wrap up the stream and get to the next one that is also again highlighting Dane Calloway's pseudo nature as of late, again, he claims Frederick Douglass never existed, showed no evidence for it, and meanwhile, we got descendants, I'm so sorry. This motherfucker threw Frederick Douglass in the mix with Nat Turner so much that I'm confusing their names. He suggested that Nat Turner never existed. He's a fictional character just because he couldn't find a picture, even though pictures weren't created at the time. He threw up a photo of Frederick Douglass, claiming all the pictures of Nat Turner, Frederick Douglass, which is already false. And the whole time, Nat Turner has living descendants.
It is my honor to present this remains to you.
Being able to hold that piece of his body that he couldn't own for himself, we'll be able to treat it with the respect and honor that it is due, that we're going to be able to give him the burial that he deserves.
We're here representing the generations before us. Sure. We're just messengers.
I wonder how these lovely ladies would feel knowing there's a random nigga online named Dane Calloway claiming their ancestor never existed because he can't find a photo. Sure.
Brethren, I pray you sing a new song. Sing praise in the assembly of the righteous.
Thank you for giving him back to us.
Spoiler alert, what are they thinking for giving him back to us? They found Nat Turner's remains, y'all. They found Nat Turner's skull, and they returned it to his lineal descendants that are still alive to this day. They now have their ancestor's skull, but let Dane Calloway tell it, Nat Turner never existed.
Having this piece of Nat Turner's body.
Guys, Nat Turner died in 1831, but he's going to question his existence because of no photos. Crispus Attucks was killed in the Boston Massacre, Black Indian by the name of Crispus Attucks, in 1770. But he ain't never came out with a video saying Crispus Attucks was a figment of our imagination, but he thinks Nat Turner is. Okay.
To bury and to treat as a man is a huge blessing for us because it will be significant to all of those families who don't have the bodies of their ancestors.
It's time to celebrate him, and I cannot wait for us to be as a group, as a family, so we can do that.
You know, I hope that he is looking down, and I hope that he is proud of us.
And I hope he's proud of me for defending his legacy that dumb motherfuckers like Dane Calloway want to tarnish. This is disgusting. This is distasteful. Dane ain't came out and apologized for this video. He hasn't said, hey guys, I'm armed with new information. He really did exist. He ain't said none of that. But some of y'all still hold Dane Calloway in high regard. We ain't even got into the video of him claiming Harriet Tubman never existed. But don't go anywhere. As soon as this one ends, I got another video on Dane coming up, and we're going to get into his weird claims that King James was a black man or something. I don't know. Stay tuned for more Sudanese with Dane Calloway.